So how much can you expect to make as a full-time Forex trader? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the potential earnings as a full-time Forex trader. However, there are a few variables to consider. The first thing that needs to be taken into account is the available capital that you're trading with. For example, if you're trading with an £100,000 account, the chances of you making £1,000 to £5,000 a month or to £10,000 a month are pretty high. But if you have an £1,000 account, the chances of you making £1,000 to £5,000 to £10,000 are almost slim to none. So if you're a trader and have a lot of capital to invest, then it's going to be a lot easier to compound interest high amounts of money each month. I know what you're thinking. I don't have a lot of money to invest, so I can't be a Forex trader. There are ways around this problem. There are now funded challenges through prop firms, which basically give you high amounts of capital to be able to trade with. Now, this doesn't mean that these accounts are easy to obtain, and the likelihood is you will fail doing challenges initially anyways. So if you're a new trader, definitely think about trading on a demo first before you even attempt a challenge or trade a live personal account. The second variable that will change the amount of money you make as a trader on a monthly basis will be the opportunities you get from the market. Now, of course, every trader has their strategy and they should stick to that strategy and only trade that. But there's only a certain amount of opportunities the market's able to give you each month. Some months you could be presented with over 10 opportunities to take a position or take a trade almost every day. And then some weeks or months you might only be presented with one. And that's obviously going to change the amount of money you make each month. Remember that trading is a risk-on job as well. So you could have months, if you only get one or two setups and you lose both of them, then it's going to be a drawdown month. Again, this is dependent on your style of trading, the strategy you trade, and the opportunities you get within the market. Okay, so now that we've got the variables out of the way, I'm going to go through the amount you can earn for each trading account. Personally, I don't trade with any targets, so each month I don't trade saying I have to make 5, 10, 15% a month, because I don't think that trading with a target is going to help your psychology in any way, shape or form. But I would say a typical trader normally averages around 5 to 10% a month. That's not a bad return on investment at all. The amount of money you return each month is all down to your risk management. Personally, I'd rather be consistent and go for a lower amount each month than go for ridiculous 20, 30, 40% gains each month. So let's go through the different sized accounts now and how much you can expect to make, let's say from a 5% average return on investment. So we'll start at £10,000. If you have a £10,000 personal or funded account, then you can expect to make around £500 to £1,000 each month if you're trading to 5 to 10% profit splits. You've got to remember, with these funded accounts, they're likely to have a profit split. So normally you'd only take about 80%. So let's say you've made £1,000 on a 10k account, then you're really only going to take home £800, which isn't bad. Bear in mind these 10k accounts cost around 100 quid. Now let's scale up to a £25,000 account. Again, difference between a personal and a funded account is with a personal, you're getting 100% of the profit made, and a funded, you're likely to just be getting 80%, which is still a lot. So with 25k, again, if you're making around 5 to 10% a month, you can expect roughly around £1,250 to £2,500 per month. If funded, take that 20% away, and you're left with about £2,000 if you've hit 10% in that month. Okay, we'll start to scale up to a 50k account. Now, if you're on a 50k account and you make 5 to 10% a month, you should be looking at £2,500 to £5,000 each and every month if you're hitting 5 to 10% consistently. On a funded account, that would be roughly about £2,000 if you're hitting 5% and £4,000 if you're hitting 10% profit. Now let's scale up even further, and this is when it gets a bit serious and you can start to see those 5-figure months, and that's if you're trading on a 100k personal or on a 100k funded account. Now that you're on 6 figures, 10% does tend to be about 5 figures, especially when trading on a personal account rather than a funded account. So let's say you hit 5 or 10%, which is that average that we're looking for, then you'd be making £5,000 or £10,000 on that personal account, and that'd be straight profit. This is all before taxes, by the way. Then on your funded account, you'll be making 5 to 10 grand again. Take away those 20% profit splits and you're left with 4 grand if you hit 5% and 8 grand if you hit 10%. Okay, the next scale up is now £200,000 in funded capital or a personal account. If you're making 5 to 10% a month on a personal account, you're hitting 10 to 20 grand. And if you're hitting 5 to 10% on a funded account, you're making 10 grand, 20 grand minus that profit split, 8 grand or 16 grand in profit. And once you get to that kind of 6 figures in capital, that's when you can see the extreme payouts. For example, my first 2 weeks of having a $100,000 account of FTMO, I managed to make around $10,000 profit. Converted into a pounds is roughly around £7,500. Here's a profit split. Now, the only thing I would say with these funded accounts is they have extremely harsh rules. You have 5% max daily drawdown and 10% overall daily drawdown. So if you're aiming for 5 to 10% a month, it's going to be a lot harder to hit that on a funded account than on a personal account without ever blowing the account. The reason I say that is because if you're risking 1% on a funded account, you're actually risking more like 10%. The reason I say that is because you can only lose 10% of the account. So if you're risking 1%, that's 10% of that 10%. Whereas on a live account, if you're risking 1%, you're risking 1% of 100%. You've got 99% left to be able to trade with and make that money back and make your 5 to 10% each month. So as you can tell, it is a lot better to be trading with a personal account that's of that size. But for new traders, that's likely not going to be a possibility. So funded challenges are a very good alternative and can get you that capital that you need initially to build that personal account and start to trade with live funds of your own. I hope this video is helpful. Any questions, drop me a message on Instagram @RobDono. As I said at the start of the video, this is very much dependent on the variables. How much do you aim to make a month? The amount of capital that you have, your average return on investment, strategy you trade, the type of trader you are. You might be a swing trader, so that means that you might only get one position a week maybe. And also the amount of profit you're aiming for. This was just a rough estimate of 5 to 10% a month. Don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate it massively. Thanks, guys.